Hello, I'm Dr. Kajal and I welcome you to this particular flipped video wherein I'll be focusing specifically on business email writing techniques and etiquette. Now, I am assuming that you would have watched the earlier flipped video which was based on the email story. What we will be covering in this video is basically some etiquette which you're supposed to keep in mind while drafting emails. So before I go on to that portion, we'll begin with a few fun facts which are out here. Now, if I were to ask you that how many emails do you think are sent per second, give it a thought. You'd be surprised and shocked to know that about 2.7 million emails are sent every second. And how many times does an average person spend on the email? Well, roughly about 5.4 hours a day in checking an email. Also, if somebody interrupts you while you're drafting an email, how much time do you think it would take you to get back to focus or get back on point? Well, trust me, it takes 20 minutes to regain full concentration regardless to what it is that you were doing earlier on. Also, the possibility or the probability of an email being opened after 24 hours is just 1%, and beyond that, 26% of people check emails before getting out of bed. Yes, we are a nomophobic generation. We have FOMO, that is the fear of missing out. So ideally, most of us are into the bad habit of gadgeting our technology devices or technological devices which we have and cruising through the morning by checking on our emails. Also, yeah, sad but true, 60% of email is spam. So spammers alert. Is there anything you can do about it? Well, you'll have to try and figure out a way and technique which we'll discuss exactly how is it that you can filter out the wheat from the chaff. So I want your views on this. Studies have found that forwarding an email can end friendships, and it further says, please help spread the word by forwarding this to 10 friends. So there you are. And what does this image convey to you? Give it a thought. We'll be discussing this in class. Now, when it comes to email etiquette, getting right on point, ensure that what you have is a clear subject line, which means either it should be very, very specific or concise, brief, to the point, which states that the meeting date has changed or suggestions of the proposal. Second, of course, is that you should use your professional email address if you're working somewhere. If you're an entrepreneur, well, you'll be having your own signature block wherein you'll be putting down your name and, of course, the venture that you are in. The third point is, and I heavily emphasize it, is that you should think twice before hitting the reply all button, because we do not definitely want to add on the spam mail of the content in a person's inbox. I was just talking about a signature block some time back. So if you're working, this is how you should actually have your signature block, which is your name, your title. It is optional, but yes, I do suggest that you insert it. You then have the company with which you're associated, your own mobile number, the landline number of the company wherein you're working, followed by the website address and of course the postal address also. So this comprises of your signature block. It gives a very professional look. If you do not have one, try figuring it out how exactly you can build a professional block. You then of course begin your emails by using professional salutations like dear sir or ma'am. You are ideally supposed to be responding to emails ASAP. Now, ideally, I mean, this rule varies from company to company, from organization to organization. There are some organizations which emphasize that, okay, you should reply within 24 hours. However, there are other views which state that since we have technology on our fingertips, we should reply within the first 1 or 2 hours that we receive an email. So it depends on the kind of organization you're working in. It depends specifically on the rules in that organization, what the work culture over there is all about. Do proofread every message, because grammatical flaws are a huge no-no, right? You don't want to sound sloppy while you're writing an email, and you would be sounding sloppy if you have got spelling errors, if you have got punctuation errors. So proofreading is a very, very important point, which many a times students tend to miss out. And you should add the email address at the end. Now, why do you think I'm saying that? Well, common sense. What happens is if you put the email address right at the beginning and you are drafting an email and out of the blue you happen to hit on the send button, you know that you cannot retrieve it, right? So that is why, to safeguard your interest, what you'd be doing is inserting the email right at the end. You should double check that you have selected the correct recipient. There have been stories of sending an email to Japan, it lands in Tokyo. You don't want that happening to you. And also the 10th point, that is the 10th email etiquette, is nothing is confidential. So draft emails, send emails, keeping this point in mind that everything is out there in the open. Now, I have the slide out here for you, wherein you talk about the CC, which is a carbon copy, and the BCC, which is a blind carbon copy. What I expect you to do is get a hang of it, understand the differences. This is precisely where we'll be picking up when we meet in class. Of course, in the earlier video, I had asked you to draft an email. Now, you'll be checking your drafted email based on the email etiquettes which I have just discussed. We'll carry on from here in class. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.